Alright students, today's homework help is on Module 2-1, Distributive Property Worksheet, numbers 1 through 18. So there are 9 problems on finding the greatest common factor, in which I'm going to use the ladder method. And then there are another 9 problems in which you're going to use the distributive property, write the sum of the numbers as the product of their GCF and another sum, also using the ladder method. So I'm going to pick and choose some of the problems that I'm going to do with you. So I think I'm going to do number 1, number 8, and number 9. All right. From the bottom half of the homework, I think I'm going to do number 10, 13, and 16. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to write the title of the homework, and then I'm going to copy these problems down, okay? So over here, I'm going to write 2-1, Distributive Property Worksheet. Numbers 1 through 18. And I'm gonna write GF for Google Form. Name, date, it's gonna be, okay. And let me go ahead and write period 3 this time, because one of the students was asking, why did you always write period 1? Okay, so for the first 9 problems, it says find the greatest common factor. We already learned how to write the greatest common factor. So I am going to copy down the problems first. So give me a minute. So here's number 1. And because I know that I'm going to be using the ladder method, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the 2 numbers inside my upside down cake. Okay, number 8. I'm gonna skip a lot of space because I don't know how much space I'm going to need. 49 and 84. Number 9. 24 and 18. Okay, so I'm gonna now take my paper away. You know that you have a Google Form homework. Our Google Form is not quite ready just today, so that's why I am not showing you Google Form, but you will be entering just what the greatest common factor is once you show your work on your spiral notebooks. Okay, so here we go. So when you're looking for a greatest common factor of 24 and 16, you want to ask yourself, what are some of the numbers that you can divide into both 24 and 16? So what is a common factor? We have multiple choices. You can divide by, let's see, 2, 3, no, because 3 doesn't go into 16. 4, yes. 5, no. 6, no, because 6 doesn't go into 16. 8, yes. You know, so as you can see, there are multiple choices. The greater the common factor you use, actually the shorter steps it's going to take. However, I'm going to divide by, I already know what the greatest common factor is, and I feel like some of you might also know that, but I'm actually going to just use, I don't know, let me use 4, okay? So then if I divide by 4, 4 goes into 24 6 times, or 4 times 6 is 24. And 4 goes into 16 4 times. Okay, now looking at 6 and 4, hopefully you guys all figure out that because those are both even numbers, you can divide by 2, which means you still need to keep going. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. Now, when you look at 3 and 2, hopefully you realize that there is no other common factor but 1, and you don't want to divide by 1 because then you will just continue to get the same numbers. So then that's when you're done. So what you do is you circle the numbers that are on the left side, and what you're going to do is you're going to multiply them. So 4 times 2, your greatest common factor equals 8. Easy? Now, if you had divided by 8 to begin with here, instead of 4 and then 2, then you would get 3 and 2 on the bottom, and then your GCF would be 8 in just one step. Okay? All right, let's look at number 8. 49 and 84. So you have a couple options to when you're trying to figure out the common factors. You can start from 2 and just keep increasing all the way to 10. For example, 2 cannot go into 49 because 49 is an odd number. 3 doesn't go evenly into 49. 4 doesn't go, so you can keep doing that. Or you can think of some common factors of 49 and 84, and then you can just kind of like ask yourself, would it go into both? Which is the strategy that I am actually going to take. And the reason is because 49 is doesn't have too many factors. The only factors of 49 are 1 and 49, and hopefully you realize 7. Okay, so then if I divide by 7, it'll go in 7 times. Can I divide 7 into, the 7 go into 84? You want to ask yourself that question. So then if I try to divide 84 by 7, you do get 12. So I am going to divide by 7. 7 times 7 is 49, or 49 divided by 7 is 7. And then 7 goes into 84 12 times. Okay, now, so if you didn't know, then if you try dividing by 7, going in once, remainder 1, bring down the 4, and then it goes in twice evenly. Okay, anyways, so then you get 7 and 12. 7 and 12 does not have any common factor, which means 7 is your greatest common factor. Okay, next one. 24 and 18. This time I'm just going to divide by 2 because 2 can go into any even numbers. Okay, but there are other numbers too. All right, 2 goes into 24 12 times. 2 goes into 18 9 times. Okay, 12 and 9, 3. So I'm gonna continue and divide by 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So when you're looking at 4 and 3, there are no more common factors other than 1. So I'm going to stop, multiply these two numbers. So 2 times 3, your greatest common factor equals 6. Okay, so hopefully you guys understood how to find the greatest common factor using the ladder method. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to do the second half of the homework, which is the new lesson that you learned, which is called, here's the direction, write the sum of the numbers as a product of their GCF, greatest common factor, and another sum. I know that the wording of the problem sounds confusing, but the way you solve it using the ladder method is very easy because it is extremely similar to just finding the greatest common factor. It's almost identical, okay? So I'm going to go over 10, 13, and 16. So I'm going to first copy down the problems. So let's go ahead and write 10 here. And again, I'm going to do the upside down cake, but instead of just writing 24 and 44, I'm going to copy down 20 and 44 I'm going to copy down 20 plus 44. So I'm going to put this addition symbol inside my ladder. So 20 plus 44. I'm also going to copy number 13. Same thing, 25 plus 40. And then for number 16, same idea, 42 plus 63. So those are the three problems that I'm going to go over. And if you take a look at what your answer is supposed to look like, for every single problem, it has a number, parentheses, something plus, so a number plus another number, close the parentheses. Okay, that's the format of the answer. Basically, what you're going to be doing is once you use the ladder method, you're going to be finding the greatest common factor, put that right outside of the parentheses, okay? And then inside the parentheses, you'll be writing another sum. And basically, you're gonna be rewriting this 20 plus 44. Instead of writing it as a sum, you will be writing it as a product, which means the answer to multiplication, product of the greatest common factor and another sum. So then basically you'll be writing it as GCF times something plus something, okay? It may not make sense much, but once I do the problem, it'll come very easy, okay? So here we go, number 10. 20 plus 44, 20 and 44. Let's see what kind of common factors there are. I can think of a couple different common factors. I'm gonna go ahead and use 2. 2 goes into 20 10 times, and then I'm actually going to bring down the plus sign, and 2 goes into 44 22 times. Since both of these are even numbers, I know I can still divide by 2. So I'm gonna draw another upside down cake and put a 2. 2 goes into 10 5 times, bring down the plus sign. 2 goes into 22 11 times. Now, 5 and 11, there's no common factor. So I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 2. I'm actually going to write that right here. My greatest common factor is 4. Okay, now I know that in the original problem, notice how the answer is going to be written as GCF, the product of the GCF and another sum. So first, before I write the answer, I'm gonna copy down this format. So that way I can kind of explain what is going on. Basically, I'm going to be writing down what goes in these 3 blanks, okay? All right, so this number outside is actually going to be my greatest common factor, GCF. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to be writing another sum, okay? So where does that another sum come from? Well, it's very easy to find. It's right here. You see these leftover numbers that you got? 5 plus 11, that's gonna be the another sum. So you just need to copy 5 plus 11, and that is the answer. This is the product of their GCF and another sum. Because this parentheses means 4 times parentheses 5 plus 11. So times means the product, okay? Now, just so you know, if I add 20 plus 44, that's 64. If I were to use the order of operations, 5 plus 11 is 16. 4 times 16 is 64, okay? And then later when we do the distributive property, you're also going to learn how to go from here to here. So going the opposite way. And to do that, you will be multiplying 4 times 5, and then you will also multiply 4 times 11. So you multiply this number by the numbers inside separately. And when you add them, so 4 times 5, you get 20. 4 times 11, you get 44. Notice the numbers are the same. So when you add them up, you'll get the same answer. That's coming up later in Module 10. However, you will see distributive property again, okay? All right, I think I spoke a little too much. So let me just move on. 25 plus 40. 25 and 40, hopefully you guys figure out that it is 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times, plus 5 goes into 40 8 times. Well, since 5 and 8, there's no other common factor but 1. So your greatest common factor, you already found it. It is 5. So then I'm going to write my final answer, which is 5, greatest common factor, parentheses, 5 plus 8, and then close the parentheses. Product of the GCF and another sum. Last one, 42 and 63. So I'm trying to think about a couple different common factors, and to me, honestly, the very first one that comes to mind is actually 7, because when I look at 42, I think 6 times 7, but when I look at 63, I know 6 doesn't go into 63, but 7 does. So I'm going to try 7. 7 goes into 42. Oh, by the way, don't put a number here unless you know for sure goes into both, okay? So I guess I shouldn't have said I'm gonna try. Okay, I have to put the number only after I know for sure that it goes in, okay? 7 goes into 42 6 times, plus 7 goes into 63 9 times. Okay, 7 times 6 is 42, 7 times 9 is 63. 6 and 9, you can still divide by 3. 3 goes into 6 twice, plus 3 goes into 9 3 times. Now you need to stop. So 7 and 3, 7 times 3, my greatest common factor is 21, and my another sum is 2 plus 3. So writing the final answer, I need to write my greatest common factor outside, and then inside the parentheses, I write 2 plus 3, and that's my answer. All right, so let me show you the whole page if I can. Hopefully, this homework helped you. All right, okay. So thank you, and next time.